So should we start again? Okay, 33rd Australian men's and mixed national titles here on the Gold Coast. Sue Gordian in commentary alongside me, former Sonics Australian men's coach in David Millsy Mills. Dave, arguably day 4, and we are hitting without doubt what was probably the biggest game of the 4 days, and that is it's the Open Men's Queensland taking on Victoria.
Absolutely. This game's actually got a bigger meaning for it now because New South Wales just beat Queensland. So the winner of this game will pretty much secure themselves maybe first place in this championship and go get 2 bites of the cherry into the finals. If Queensland were to drop this when they were undefeated coming into today, they'll be shocked. But, you know, they've got a few injuries. Vic is starting to hit a bit of form, so this game is quite huge. It's a grand final replay. These guys played every grand final for the last 8 years, so I expect nothing more than a ding-dong battle.
Yeah, ding-dong battle. Well, they have met previously throughout this week. It was day 2, Queensland 65, defeating Victoria 56. So a 9-goal win for Queensland, but no doubt Victoria will be coming out to hunt that score down. Can I just ask you mentioned Queensland with some injuries. Just talk me through that.
Oh, there's several, actually. Cole Gray's in hospital right now getting operated on. He's actually burst his appendix, so he's in hospital right now. Gary Passion's carrying a groin injury. We've got about 3 ankles out there. And Jamie Bruce is coming back from food poisoning, so he should be okay, but he's been running down a bit flat today.
All right, well, promises to be a huge game. Queensland, I'm sure, will fight on as they would expectedly do. Don't go anywhere. We're going to come back only a few minutes away from the biggest, as I said, game of the day and probably the 4 days of the tournament. The Open mixed game, men's game, should I say, Queensland taking on Victoria. And a big thanks to Game Clothing for our coverage today in the live stream, and we'll catch you in a minute.
In the light and sound, nothing's gonna stand in my way.
National Championships up here on the Gold Coast, the beautiful Carrara Indoor Sports Complex, the venue, and of course, one of the venues for the upcoming Commonwealth Games in 2018. Of course, though, as best we understand, netball won't be played here, likely to see badminton at this venue.
Massive cracking for a sport, the badminton.
Yeah. That is the voice of David Mills, my expert commentator for the day, for the evening, should I say. Millsy, undoubtedly, as we mentioned in the opener, this is a huge game. My question to you, though, Queensland rattled earlier on. I had a quick chat with their superstar in Junior Levy, and just prior to this game, I said, how are you feeling? He said, yeah, a little bit rattled after this morning. How much do you think that loss to New South Wales will affect them leading into this game?
I don't think it'll affect them that much. I mean, they were in control of the match for big parts of it. So it was just the last quarter, they actually didn't capitalise on the turnovers that they were creating. In fact, turned the ball over straight back. So they got heaps of ball, but they didn't actually just make sure that they finished the job off. I felt they were throwing the ball a bit too far into Junior, like from the mid-third, and usually that's not their game. They usually tend to get a little bit closer to the circle before they feed the big man.
Well, just about to get underway. Guy Keane in the middle for Victoria.
Nice start.
And Victoria men's in the blue, heading to your right of screen. And Queensland heading to the left. 7 players in total on court here, current members of the Australian Sonics men's team. So you can expect some good stuff as Queensland get the first turnover.
Bit of a nervous feed there, wasn't it? Just saw his opponent, didn't throw it in, just got the tip.
So Atkins out wide, finds Meredith. Good pressure from Victoria early. Yeah, really having to work the ball around here, and eventually they go to the man himself, Junior Levy, and I reckon he already looks in that first play a little bit more enthused than earlier today.
Yeah, Junior's such a champion. He gets himself up for the big matches. You know, he doesn't need any motivation. He knows the importance of this game. This game is hugely important. The winner will finish 1-2, 2 bites to the cherries. The loser will have to take on New South Wales and do or die battle.
So a 2-goal lead to Queensland early, and Victoria still searching for their first goal. Will it come through Tim Walker as he lines up, and they're on the board, the Vics.
To me, that's the big matchup. If Fraser Lara can shut down Tim Walker better than what the Vics can shut down Junior, then Queensland will win. But at the moment, you know, Timmy Walker, he's got the wood over the Queensland at the moment, dating back to last year's grand final.
So former team, or should I say current Australian teammates in Lowry and Walker going head to head. Asked to stand out of play as Levy follows through beautifully on that shot. You won't see him delivering too many shots from further than directly under the post. Keane. Simons. They'll work the ball around until they find something that opens up. Very disciplined, the Vic side.
They are. They're brilliantly coached. They're they're probably the most structured side at the championship, and they've always been that way. So they won't rush anything into there.
So Robertson Walker working the circle for Victoria, and a hand to ball, but the crumbs picked up by Meredith. So Queensland, Bruce, quick vision into the post.
Great space creation there by Junior.
Well, you'd be pretty happy to have a ball in hand and turn and see Mr. Junior there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Surely.
219 centimetres. You know, he makes bad passes look good.
4-2 the score. Queensland up by 2. Roberts. Yeah, Walker finding good space, confident to the post early. It's Tim Walker, current Australian Sonics player. So just prepared to work the ball around here, Queensland. Not in a hurry. Bruce. And good defensive play there by Punchin.
He's come through the 23s program, played for the Australian 23s last year. He's got an amazing elevation, 68 centimetre elevation from standing jump.
Well, why wouldn't you have him on someone like Junior Levy? Because that's the only way you're going to get around that, isn't it? To use some elevation and...
Exactly. He's playing very smart. He's not allowing Junior to box him in. He's actually coming off him and trying to use his elevation to have a crack. This is the most vocal the crowd's been this week. Well, great turnover there. Caleb Meredith read that beautifully.
Yeah, so plenty at stake at the end of this game today. As we said, it'll be ladder positions most likely and double chances on the line.
the table as it stands, New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland have all had 1 loss. So this is a vital match.
Bruce to line up for his first shot.
He won't take many.
Jamie Bruce offloads. He didn't even take that one. And Junior Levy claps his hands. He's pretty happy with the offload. He'll take the score. So Queensland now out by 3. The ball going their way, centre pass.
It's actually a shame because Jamie is one of the best shooters you'd see going around. But when you got Junior in there, he plays the team role and just passes off.
So these two lined up last year in the grand final. It's the 2016 grand final, and
it was an amazing match. Queensland led early by 6. And then in the third quarter, the VICs just got a roll on it. Before you know it, we'd lost the game by 7. So it was probably the biggest crowd we've played in front of in a long time. There's somewhere around 16 to 2,000 people there, 1,600 to 2,000 people there. And the noise was unbelievable. And the boys just kept coming and coming, and Victoria just got us in the end.
Speaking like a true Queenslander, Mr. Mills.
Yeah. That one cut me deep. Maybe that's why I'm the former Sonics coach.
So Victoria now, just trying to find some space. Queensland everywhere defensively at the moment. And eventually, the ball moves forward courtesy of a contact to Fraser Lowry.
It's really important that Fraser doesn't get caught behind against Tim. And he's setting himself up behind right from the start. So quite often, like, Tim will just be able to pin him there and control the front space very well. Fraser needs to shorten his space and get around him. So.
Oh, well, clever work by Levy. The ball wasn't good.
Controversial call here.
Yeah, contact call.
Coach Kuiker's going off. Did not like that call at all.
So Victoria with the chance. Guy Keane sights Walker. Probably lucky to get away with that, the contact again on Lowry. So he's falling under the eye of the umpire's whistle. And Victoria get back to within a goal. The centre pass now their way. So a bit of momentum, a rhythm change here.
Oh, nice drive there by Brody Roberts. Got him for a step, I think. There you go.
So Queensland in transition. Using the whole width of the court. Lowry looks long, finds Bruce. The quick ball off the hands of Meredith into man-made mountain, isn't he, in Junior Levy. And that's great play from the Queensland as well. They have come out firing after their loss.
Yeah, I think the coach fired them up in the change rooms. I heard a bit of their speech. It was colourful, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, contest in the air. That'll be a contact.
It's certainly tough out there.
Yeah, Stephen Kerr.
Boys are going very hard.
Up and at it again. So Queensland into attack. Atkins, good drive. They eventually find the ball to Levy. And the game plan going very well at the moment for the Queenslanders.
See, again there, Lowry caught behind.
So Fraser Lowry, the goalkeeper for Queensland. And Roberts offloads. Tim Walker, definitely the man that they want to be shooting the goals. He's certainly the go-to boy here. So your scoreline, 9-6. Queensland still leading by 3. Just over 7 minutes of play left on this open men's game. Queensland taking on Victoria, day 4 of the Australian Men's and Mixed National Netball Championships. 7 Australian current national players on the court. 5 for Victoria and just the 2 at the moment for Queensland. A couple of 23 and under Aussie reps. Oh, well, the luck going the way of Queensland here, Millsy.
No luck there. That was a great call.
So Junior Levy, not only is he up for the take, he's also up for the shot, and he is trying to pump his side right from the get-go here.
He's a great...
Yeah,
Sorry, he's a great captain, Junior. Like, he doesn't say much, but when he needs to talk, everyone listens. You know what I mean? And then he inspires them through performance more than anything. They've dropped to a double team on him now. Smart play by Bruce. That was really nice play. The way Jamie Bruce got on there to get the double team off Junior, that was real teamwork.
really working strong and as a team. Vocal coming from the Queensland bench, their coach. Trying to push out the line, the score line here. They lead by 6.
Got him for a replay.
Queensland. Good defensive pressure coming for Victoria, just delaying Queensland here. And eventually they go long. Great screen set by
Jamie Bruce.
Brodie Roberts on that occasion. Set the screen. No, it wasn't Brodie Roberts, it was Jamie Bruce. I'm looking at the wrong notes, my apologies. But just smart work by Queensland, didn't panic.
Exactly.
Yeah, used the ball well.
Victoria set a very good zone and they use it a lot. And obviously Coach Kiker has talked to them about how to break it, and that screen was a perfect setup there. And, you know, as soon as they saw it, the boys threw it and away we went. Sorry, away they went.
Yeah, yes, that's right. And it deflates the confidence of the opposition when that happens. They go and put on a defensive structure, and when they see their opponents just patiently work through it, that's hard because it means it's not being effective.
Exactly. And I think that, they're double the score at the moment, 13-6, so you'd have to say the defence might have to change coming into this second half.
So it's all the way of Queensland, 4.5 minutes of play left, and this man, well, he is the problem for Victoria, Junior Levy. So Guy Keane trying to get things moving. Quick hands into Walker. And Andrew Simons to set the ball rolling. Roberts under the post. Should finish this. Get another crack at it, courtesy of an obstruction.
Bit of a nervy shot, that.
Yeah, still didn't look overly clean to finish on the penalty shot there, but it counts. They still trail by 7, Victoria. Queensland on the other hand, look at the space. Atkins swings and opens up.
There it is. It's pretty simple netball, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and that's what makes it look
Hit
good,
the circle,
I think. Yeah,
see the big man in the space, throw the space.
I just think they look poised and patient with the ball at the moment, Queensland. Victoria, on the other hand, probably look a little bit frazzled. Maybe trying to rush the pass a bit.
Trying to play a bit quicker than Queenslanders, I think.
Keane, top of the circle. Walker opens up. It should be an easy goal for Victoria, and it is. 16-9. Still 7 goals in it. A terrific opening term.
Yeah, I don't think Queensland in the wildest dreams thought they'd be 7 up, with only, 2 to go in the quarter. But here they be. But they've been here before. Like last year in the final, I go back to that game.
I was just going to mention, you just said Vic came back and
came back
hard.
from 6, so...
Playing with confidence. The Queensland side. Keane called for contact, contesting over the back. He's frustrated. He lets the umpire know about it. It's probably not going to do him any good.
No.
And Roberts just playing Roberts, my apology. Bruce again, just playing a smart roll out the front of Junior Levy.
Looks very controlled out there today, Jamie Bruce.
No, I think it's a tough role. He's got a tough job, to work out exactly what his role is and when he needs to contribute at the post. So far, he's not really had to do that at all.
He's, Junior nearly picked that off too. Oh, so close there. We haven't had a missed shot yet in this game.
So that just proves exactly how important this game is to both sides. And it's the errors coming through court for Victoria at the moment that's hurting them. Queensland, on the other hand, under pressure, still content to go backwards to go forwards. Atkins. Oh, he's a little pocket rocket in the middle.
Yeah, 2-on-1 in the circle. Yeah,
Matthew
geez,
Atkins.
They did that well, didn't they?
Yeah, it's just Victoria at the moment, it looks like they don't really have defensively the answer here. And I have no doubt they'll head to their bench, and Chris Puapolo will have no shortage of words and structure probably to talk to them about.
Yeah.
The coach of Victoria.
I think Queensland are just seeming a little bit more focused. I think that loss to New South Wales has really just sharpened them. They might have got a bit ahead of themselves, and then New South Wales sprung the surprise win on them. And they've just refocused in front of a fairly vocal crowd here.
No, just a minute left on the clock in this first quarter. The score 17-10, Queensland leading by 7. Still plenty of netball left to play. No doubt Victoria will come out hard. Can Queensland sustain this? Can Junior Levi sustain that jump for the next 45 minutes? Incredible stuff. So still time to score. Plenty opportunity, 30 seconds. Keane immediately goes long to Walker. Well, they can get a quick score here and delay Victoria, and that'll be just a late little win for them, and they'll get the centre pass.
Call time, excellent.
So the umpire's asking not to delay play. Queensland here. 15 seconds left. And again, the umpire's just asking the timers to hold the clock, but they go quick and long to Levi. Levy, should I say, and too good.
Play. 19 for a quarter. They're looking at 80.
Yeah, so Guy Keane, very clever, very smart, just delaying the clock down not to throw away the centre pass, but Queensland just dominant in that first quarter. And they lead Victoria 19-11. We'll head off to a small break and be back with all the action right after this. Thanks for joining us as we get back in to the action here. We're on the Gold Coast. If you're enjoying the live streaming, thanks to Game Clothing. And if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, it's at AMMNA Men's Mixed, AMNA Men's Mixed, or Instagram, you can go Australian Men's Netball.
We've had tweets throughout the day from all over the world. We've got a pretty big following in England, it appears.
Yeah,
so they're getting up. It's middle of the day there. So they're sitting down at lunchtime watching a classic game of netball. Is this your first men's tournament, Sue?
First men's tournament, not first time I've seen men's netball. So thoroughly enjoying it. Really looking forward to the outcome of this game as we head in to get started on the second quarter. And it's Queensland 19 to Victoria 11, and plenty of passion coming from the Queensland bench. We're a little bit closer to them than we are the Victorian bench, but no doubt Victoria want to adjust their game at the moment, just lacking a little bit of touch on the pass.
No changes to either side. So, great work there. Oh, that's a harsh call, do you feel?
No, I thought that was a good call.
Excellent call then, I'll go with that.
Oh, dear. No, I thought it was a good call. I thought,
fair call.
Yeah. It's probably a little bit late on the contest. Not much in it, though. So, Queensland, with ball in hand, Kerr, and...
Seems like they're setting the same defensive structures.
Kerr and Meredith, the wing defence and goal defence for Queensland, just doing so much work. As Victoria get a quick turnover here, so we'll get back on this. Keane, backwards, he wants it again. He's trying to set the play up. He's looking long into Walker. Eventually he finds him. Great placement into the space.
Oh. Big shot this. Oh, makes it count, makes it count.
Absolutely, Brodie Roberts, nice and high, beautiful release. As you say, an important shot. So back to 6 goals. Malmo in wing defence. Again, he's been a terrific backup for them.
Yeah, it's an unfamiliar role for him. He's mainly a GD usually. Solid young lad. He seems to have got a little bit more athletic in the off-season, based on what I saw from last year, and he's really given a hard time there at the wing attack spot. Mick Schultz will know he's there.
So Tim Malmo for Victoria. The wing defence there, you can just see him tagging his player. There he is, arms over pressure. Queensland go long, and they find Levy. Levy steps in, and that's almost impossible to stop. The co-captain of the Queenslanders, and Junior Levy, Australian co-captain. And again now Queensland just coming up with the ball. Fraser Lowry and Stephen Kerr just applying a huge amount of pressure defensively. Will Jamieson, nice contest. He probably needs to get himself a bit more into the game, don't you think?
Yes, most definitely. I think that Will's, he's sort of tagging a bit there. He needs to probably just do what Will does, and sometimes he's better when he hunts. And that would be, he's been pinged here. He went hunting there and got pinged.
Yeah.
But yeah, his time is just a little bit out at the moment. But when he hunts, it throws doubt in your mind as a feeder, you know what I mean? So that's probably what he needs to do, come off his player a little bit, because he's riding the GA Brucey as hard as he can. And it's probably not having the effect it needs to have. So
Queensland pop another one on the board, 22-14.
Yeah.
And the momentum of Victoria has been stolen away.
Yeah, see, he's riding Jamie Bruce really hard there. But, you know, he probably needs to be back there having a crack at a few of those balls.
Matthew Atkins, strong around the circle edge, great feeder. And Queensland at the moment just putting on an absolute training show, aren't they? Like it's
clinic? Is that what you want
training
to say?
clinic is the word I'm after. Yeah, just
It's good,
well, I'm really impressed the way they've come out. I watched the earlier game today where they lost to New South Wales and they looked deflated.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier they've got a couple of injuries. They've got a player that's under the knife currently who's had an appendix.
That's Colin Gray right now. His appendix is just about to burst. And they've decided to operate on him straight away. So.
Yeah, so they're certainly with their backs against the wall, Queensland, but they're not showing it by any stretch of the imagination as Jamie Bruce. Well, that's the shot of a player who hasn't had many shots at post, courtesy of his partner in crime.
He was in good position there. Normally he'd drain that, 100 times out of 100, but because he'd only had one shot for the match, he sort of, it looked a bit rusty, didn't it?
Absolutely, and that's why, because this man is doing all of the shooting, and why wouldn't you at 219 centimetres?
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of volleyball training back in Brisbane as well. So he's actually added to his elevation as well. So he's becoming, every year he adds something to his game to become a bigger force than what he was the previous year.
So Victoria under the post. Walker pops the ball through the ring and the score 23-16. So still the 7 goals, the difference as it was at quarter time. And that's better defensive pressure.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. So
just forcing the ball wide. And as you mentioned, Will Jamieson out hunting, doing what he does best. Well,
Junior, that was badly timed.
Yeah,
at least he caught him.
Yeah, absolutely. Hand goes. Otherwise, he could have been flattened, mate.
Yeah.
So the pressure set from Levy from the get-go. Victoria here just needing to work their way through. Keane. He finds Simons in the pocket free. So a 2-on-1 now, surely going the way of Walker as it does. And again, Victoria just starting to press.
they'll just keep chipping away. And if they get close, then they'll have a run at it, you know what I mean? So, and they'll never give up. Like, I've never seen a Victorian team lie down. So they'll just keep it close. They'll keep doing what they do. And if Queensland haven't put them away by three-quarter time, it'll be a sensational last quarter.
Yeah, well, Guy Keane prepared to go long with that ball, but twice now it's been poorly executed and it's a turnover. So time being called just to wipe the court. One of the boys hitting the deck. And I'll just give Queensland a chance to poise. They're under a bit of pressure there from Victoria. They'll need to continue that pressure. Or just kept in play, but that'll be a Vic ball. And Tim Melmo comes up with it. There he goes again. So just working the ball through court, him and Will Jamison eventually finding Keane on the drive. Oh, geez. Swings to Andrew Simons, lucky to get out.
Looks like a replay to me.
There. Yeah, I agree.
Maybe the ball was slippery.
Still a replay.
You told me to be nice.
So Tim Walker looks as steady as necessary under the post. So 5 goals now. Victoria bringing the scoreline back to.
A warning there for persistent breaking on the goal attack, Roberts. I hadn't even noticed, had you? So,
no, not at all.
Yeah.
So Atkins. Oh, yeah, took the drive there. Good courage.
Yeah, he knew he was going to get hit.
And Jamie Bruce, well, again, he does what he does best, and that is offload. No, he's going to take the shot. Bruce under the post.
Yeah. He's away now.
Yeah, good pressure off the centre pass from Queensland, forcing Victoria backwards. Roberts. Eventually Simons opens up.
I think the boys thought that might have been a hell ball.
Well, they were trying to coerce the umpire. Not to be. So a better showing this quarter from Victoria.
Yeah, they've eaten into the lead a little bit.
Yeah, back to 5. So they lead this quarter by 2. And
that was
yeah.
forced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the equaliser. That was a very lucky call for Queensland.
Andrew Simons.
Ball nose.
So can we call this a moment for Victoria? Just getting the momentum swing. And just as we say, that ball goes through the hands of Brodie Roberts. And a chance for Queensland just to settle.
They are struggling to get through the zone press there at the moment.
Yeah, Kerr and Meredith again being called upon eventually. Schultz driving on to the circle edge, and you just wonder with the Victorians whether the game plan needs to be apply pressure to Bruce to stop the feed to Levy, or to double back on Levy and allow Bruce to shoot the game out.
Yeah, I don't think the double back on Junior will work, because Bruce, he's smart enough to come in ball side there, and he'll get one of their players off really easily. And he is a good enough shot you can't leave him alone. So that's the trouble that they have. Like, if they double team, then Bruce will beat you, but on one-on-one, Junior beats everyone. You know what I mean? So that's the trouble at the moment. So
good strength.
That was a nice pass
options, yeah. And in return,
yeah.
Walker's giving Fraser Lowry something to think about.
Yeah, Walker is, to me, he's been the most improved player over the last few years. He just does his job. He's no fuss, positions himself well. He's there all the time, and you know, he's a 98% shooter. So,
well, Levy out of the circle, and that was an opportunity for Victoria, and they make the most of it. So
turnover.
Quick down court transition, Roberts, and again Simons and Keane just working the ball. Well,
oh no.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy here at the moment. Eventually Victoria end up with it. And Brodie Roberts just finishes it off. So the scoreline now back to 4 and centre pass with Victoria. And they are on the hunt here.
That's what they do.
Well, quick hands from Keane. He's now started to come alive with Roberts.
Yeah, it takes him a while to get going. He's about 400. So it takes him a while to get the old bones going. But he's probably got the most silky skills of anyone here. So he's been playing forever. 26 test veteran. There's not much more that he can do in the game. He's won 6 MVPs of this tournament.
Wow, that's
unheard of.
Guy Keane, the centre for Victoria. And there he is with the ball in hand now. And he's everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, he's really taking control of the offense.
So Brodie Roberts to line up and bring Victoria back to 2. 25-23.
We need one of those Suncorp tactical timeouts, don't we?
Not in this tournament. Simons and Keane just patiently working the ball to the circle edge. And we'll just get the bib. A little bit of a uniform malfunction.
You'd think after all these years we would have worked out a better system than bibs.
I'm not really sure what system there is, but anyhow.
Yeah, we've got to come up with something better than a bib. so even the name doesn't suit the sport.
So Robertson Walker bringing this scoreline back well. Called it too soon. The ball bounces out, and that's a big miss for Victoria. Could have brought them back to within 1. And Queensland now with the opportunity just to relieve a bit of pressure.
Queensland only scored 6 goals this quarter. It was 19-13 at quarter time.
Yeah, Roberts coming into it here, and Simons and Roberts working. Quick hands off to Walker, and that's good play by Victoria. So a chance in the hands of Walker again, just to bring the scoreline back to 1. God, he's gone short again.
Yeah, got the old snake eyes though, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, eventually. So Victoria, after being 7 down at quarter time, have found themselves within 1 goal of Queensland. So we may say that it's going to be a scoring end.
Hope
Possibly.
So. Yeah. I think that the composure that Queensland was having in the first quarter seems to have gone, and look at the speed of that. That was amazing. That got from one end of the court in 3 passes.
Yeah, terrific transition, and Victoria level the score for the first time since the opening centre pass. 3 minutes left on the clock, the second quarter. And day 4 action coming to you from Gold Coast. Australian Men's and Mixed National Netball Championships, and Victoria hit the front. So a 7-goal lead, now a 1-goal deficit for Queensland. And they are in complete shock here, Queensland, stunted and forcing the big man out of the circle. So Levy having to do all the work. Bruce has gone quiet. That'll be the first goal they've scored in about the last two and a half minutes.
It's been a while. The zone from the Victorian defence, they're just clogging the top of the circle, and Queensland are trying to go through it. Probably a better tactic would get to Levy to come out, set the screen, and then the ball into him. You know what I mean? That would be probably better. See, the bib again.
So another bib, of course, very physical, the game, and the bib's just falling off.
Oh, probably was a fraction late there.
Yeah, Brodie Roberts. It was an interesting hold in front position. Eventually,
he's got an amazing sleight of hand, Brodie Roberts.
Just a youngster, isn't he?
Yeah, he's come through the program. Like, he's come right through from the 17s to 20s to 23s, and now he's an open player. He's still eligible for 23 selection, so he's an exceptional talent.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job here, and he's certainly been one of the key reasons why Victoria find themselves 1 goal in front at the moment, 27-26.
It's been a remarkable turnaround. They could go on with a 3 or 4 goal lead here.
So there he is again, Roberts just on the drive and opens up the backspace for Walker. And the Victorians have sort of woken up. Well, lucky to get out with that one. Simons on the circle, and you can just see him pumping up his front end in Walker and Brodie Roberts. So Victoria now by 2. Melmo swings it across, and a footwork call.
That's an interesting call, but
yeah, Will Jamison, he was
Queensland will take it.
Yeah, he was shocked. Well, Guy Keane in with a deflection. Levy eventually uses his height to come up with it and to score.
That was lucky play there. Queensland could have turned it over 3 times.
So certainly plenty of heart in this game. 40 seconds left on the clock, and we'll get the bragging rights going into the halftime break. It's Victoria by 1, the big swing, opening up the circle, and Junior Levy called for the contact, an offensive contact.
And That's the trouble with Junior coming out, because he's such a big unit. He's got great pace, but changing direction is a problem with him at times. And like, just an accidental bump, but he nearly put him into the third row. So.
So 23 seconds, plenty of time for Victoria to score. And quick hands from Keane into Walker. That was absolute perfection on the pass. And a chance. 8 seconds. They're going to have to go immediately long.
And here it comes.
Simon straight long to Walker, not to beat. And the whistle blows to bring us to the halftime of this open men's game. Victoria taking on Queensland, and a terrific return from Victoria, finding themselves in front 29-27 at halftime after trailing by 7 goals in the first quarter. So plenty of action set up for this second half. Don't go anywhere. A few moments' time we'll be back and we'll get this open men's game underway. Welcome back to the action here on the Gold Coast. The 33rd Australian National Titles for men's and mixed netball. Coming to you from the Gold Coast Sports and Leisure Centre. Day 4, and it's the Men's Open Queensland taking on Victoria. And what a game we've had, the opening first quarter. And it was Queensland out by 7. And Victoria turned that quarter around, David Mills, and lead currently by 2.
Yeah, well, that was an amazing turnaround. Like, Queensland scored 19 in the first quarter, and then they only scored 8 in the second. You know, that's it's almost hard to fathom. And basically, Victoria didn't do anything differently. They played the same defensive structure that they did in the first half, just probably a little bit more intensity there. And I think Queensland, like Junior Levy, stopped talking, and they started to just second-guess themselves. Maybe the doubt from last year's final kicked in again, and, you know, they were hanging on to the ball a little bit longer rather than just taking that first drive, letting the ball go, and then breaking up the zone. So, yeah. But you made a comment about Will Jamieson. He was a bit quiet early on. He's got 3 of the last 4 intercepts that they've taken being Will Jamieson. Yeah. So he certainly kicked into gear.
So the quarter score alone in that second term was 8-16 the way of Victoria.
Yeah, you're not going to win many matches by only scoring 8 at this level.
No, and I think the great news for any side is that you can be 7 or 8 goals down and it's never over.
Yeah.
So
Queensland look like they've rung the changes here. They've brought on Gary Passion into centre. He's a veteran. He's won 4 titles with his team. He'll give them a bit more steadiness around the circle. And Glenn Orsher's come on at wing defence. He's a young kid I rate very highly. He's got amazing elevation and his speed. He'll match it with any of the Victorian players out there, particularly Andrew Simmons, who's Simon Sorry, who's actually dominating that area a little bit. Glenn will be able to go with him, put some more pressure in, so they might not get that easy feed that they've had into Tim Walker every quarter.
So Ormisher and Passion on for Queensland. And we'll wait and see, but unlikely to see any changes for Victoria.
Well, actually, the changes have continued. Fraser Lowry's come off. He looks like he's on the bench there. He's got an ice pack on his shoulders. Caleb Meredith's dropped back to GD. And Stephen Kerr's gone on to keeper. So they've got a fresh, well, not a fresh, he's just gone from GD to GK onto Tim Walker to see if he has any success against him.
So we're underway now in this third quarter. And Gary Passion, one of the stalwarts of men's netball. There he is with ball in hand. And another bib hits the deck.
Don't know what to say.
Beyond you.
Perhaps we should go to studs or something. So. Yep.
So good start for Queensland. Plenty to be said in their huddle at the halftime break. So interesting to see which side can control this third quarter. If we were to have a guess and say there might have been a scoring end, you'd say it may go the way of Queensland, but with plenty of changes, they'll take a little time to steady.
It's surprising that, because I think both umpires have been absolutely consistent. They've both seen, everything's been the same. They've umpired the same way. Mind you, there you go. There's a call on Junior Levy, a push-off on the keeper. Alistair Punchin. So Victoria made no changes in that quarter, so they're all still the same.
So Roberts and Walker continue to combine brilliantly.
He certainly, it looks like Roberts has sort of made the transition into the open side. Daniel Cook's had that position tied down for the best part of 5 or 6 years. Daniel Cook was the heir apparent to Dan Ryan when he was in the Victorian side. So.
Well, yeah, good positioning, just not strong enough on the take from Stephen Kerr. He certainly hoped.
Tim missed the easy shot there, so Queensland can get this through.
So backwards to go forwards for Atkins, and there he goes again. Well, he's all over it. He's pumped up for this third quarter, trying to get some energy and life into his teammates. And Levy just setting up the inside screen.
Spread the space very well there.
So still the 2 goals in at 29-31. Victoria out by 2, as we mentioned earlier. They trailed by 7 at the quarter time break. They looked like they were gone for all money. Never knock a Victorian. They'll fight back.
As is their way.
As is their way. Well, they've got a fight on their hands against this man, who looks like he's a little bit more involved early in this third quarter. As you mentioned, very quiet.
Yeah, he was unusually quiet, Virginia. Like when he's on a roll and a team's on a roll, that's when he is. He's most vocal, but he probably just, as he's a developing leader, just needs to be a little bit more vocal when the chips are down a little bit, because he is such an inspiration. Like when you just walk on the court, you feel confident with him out there. You know what I mean? So just needs to pick the team up on his back occasionally and bring him home.
So blow for blow in the third. Passion in the middle now for Queensland. Atkins keeps it in play, not to be, so a chance early for Victoria.
That was a bad handling error.
Well, Punchin probably lucky to get away with that. It was a good contest.
Yeah, I thought it was a 50-50.
Andrew Simons, I reckon he's found the circle edge pretty easy. I think that's been one of the reasons Victoria have got back into the swing of things.
See, they're just hesitating, the Queenslanders, and they haven't gone to that screen. They were setting that great screen. Oh, there's one there on cue. So.
Yeah, and two, it's almost like they're picking the telephone up and, you know, letting people know, where that ball, when you're swinging a ball across court from one side to the other, it's toying with danger.
Yeah, and that one had snow on it and went that high. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, we need to, obviously the Queenslanders need to, take that aerial out of it, let the ball do the work, get a bit of pace into the pass.
Guy keen to set the play up here. Simon's keen. And they find Brodie Roberts, and he's just feeding Tim Walker just perfectly at the moment.
He's quite brilliant at that.
So 33-30, 3 goals the way of Victoria, and a quick ball in again finds Walker. So they'll take this out to a 4-goal lead, and certainly started the
This
third.
is danger times for Queensland. They need to get some turnovers real fast. Otherwise, this game's going to get out of hand.
Good feed. Gary Passion on at half-time. Certainly knows how to connect with his go-to man up the front in Junior Levy.
He's definitely the go-to man.
Yeah, so game plan looking similar at both ends. It's look long and give long. It's whoever does it with the greater of accuracy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're talking about at the start of the game. Whoever gets the most stops on the respective shooters is going to win the game. And at the moment, Tim's just dominating whoever they put in there. So.
Bruce again sights the post and then says, no, I'll offload. And back to 3. Oh, great change of direction from Simons. I've been impressed with him. Great speed, great space.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a lot of years now, and his understanding in that front end with Guy Keane is just exceptional. They just know where the other person is.
Passion, Atkins. And again, Passion forced to go long, and the contact offensive going against Junior Levy. Well, he puts a smile on his face. I wonder if he knew. Oh, tries to get back with the old deflection, not to be. And so Victoria, quick, in transition, already in the goal third. Walker with opportunity, out and in. And the contact call.
The Queenslanders getting sucked into Roberts' balk every time. Every time he gets the ball, the first thing he does is balk, and they're going with it. So they're getting themselves aerial, and then he's just going around him and feeding these brilliant passes into Tim.
So 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and 37-32 the score. Victoria leading by 5. And just starting to stretch this lead. Their centre pass, the mid-court, terrific. Guy Keane and Andrew Simons.
They've sort of just been in control since about the 3rd minute of the second quarter. They've just totally they've dictated the tempo, and their control with the ball has been amazing. There's probably only been half a dozen turnovers in that period of time.
Yeah, and add to that, I think, the work of Brodie Roberts out the front.
Yeah.
They've been very good in the front.
Yeah.
It's given, I guess, a little bit of energy to their defenders who have got a tough job here. Alistair Punchin, well, you keep talking about his 68-centimetre vertical jump, and he keeps putting it on show. It's terrific to watch.
Oh, he's a phenomenal athlete. They lost Maro Clough from he joined the ADF last year. He's joined the Army. So he was he was an Australian player as well, a massive talent. And then they've just gone and produced another one. So, so a bit of a factory down there, Victoria. Just add water, and away they go.
Glenn Ormisher to take the throw in. Finds Passion. Atkins, they're very high, Queensland, and they go out to the one-on-one, and it'll be a contact call. So interesting play there when we watched Queensland play New South Wales earlier today. That was very much the set-up style. Everyone was high, leaving the one-on-one in the circle.
To leave
but it
space.
Didn't go to plan, though.
No, and they got run over the top in the end. So, yeah, they need to have a plan B, rather than just stick with the plan A and just get it into the big man. An offside call there, I think.
Yeah, offside.
Shoelaces.
So, yeah, so it's the coach killers. And, great first ball contest.
That's what he's great at, Glenn Ormiston.
Yeah,
he gets around
fantastic.
the player and can, if he could have ripped that in, then Queensland were away.
Well, again, Roberts on the fake, and it also faked Tim Walker. He had no idea. So Ormisher gets the ball moving. Him and Caleb Meredith. Atkins again, Ormisha. So plenty of ball being worked through this middle third. Not even looking in at this stage. Eventually Atkins finds Bruce alone. The 2-on-1 inside the circle. It makes no difference. And just sensing a bit of frustration on Levy's face.
Yeah, he's not happy with the way the ball's been fed in. I think he thinks he's getting beat up a bit by the defensive unit in there.
So an injury. Yeah.
Yeah, that's James Robertson's come on for Tim Malmo. That's a surprise because I thought Tim was doing a great job at the wing attack there. So maybe there's an injury we don't know about.
No, he's injured. His finger.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so he's holding his finger as he exited. So I'd say maybe a dislocation or something.
He's as tough as nails, so it must be something fairly serious.
Yeah, so Robertson now on at wing defence for the Victorian men's side. The score, 35-38. Yep. 3 goals the difference. Queensland.
See, really there's no screen here, you know what I mean? Like, they should have already set the screen here, and they haven't. So they're just feeding it, like they're allowing the zone to dictate to do what it wants. And now we've got Junior way out of the circle, and they got away with it on that occasion.
Well, Roberts overcooks that one, and Levy's there to rescue him.
Yeah, lucky he made it into the circle. Old Jamie Bruce there. That was a rusty shot.
A chance here for Queensland because they've eventually got the ball swinging back the way they're setting a pass. They're 2 down. And
suicide ball, that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Levy made good work of nothing then.
Yeah.
So he'll
can't question his commitment.
No, not at all. And he eventually finishes it off. So we now bring the scoreline back to 1. Victoria lead. The long ball into Walker. Well, plenty of space. No movement at all coming from Stephen Kerr. No confusing the space, nothing at all. That was an easy give for Guy Keane.
Oh, crashed into the Game Clothing sign.
Should say thanks to Game Clothing.
Yeah, little plug there for them. They did these magnificent shirts we're wearing. So, well, right next to Medals to Go. They're a good company too, I hear.
So just over 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And whilst Victoria got out early in this quarter, Queensland have fought back, just starting to swing things their way. Junior Levi just getting...
It's going to go down to the wire, this one. Like, if they could get another turnover, it could be all square for the quarter.
So the pressure building. Simons and Keane. Roberts working the ball, and great feed.
Stephen Kerr read that beautifully.
Eventually, and good to see him come off and pick something up because he's been beaten on the one-on-one against Walker.
Yeah, most of the Queenslanders get caught behind Walker, which is not good. That's when they're at their best. When they come off him, he starts moving around, and it's harder to hit a moving target in anything. So,
well, this will be a good return and level the game up. And the game now tied, 39 apiece. Queensland with the centre pass. And this game panning out exactly as expected.
Yeah, we built it up as it was going to be a great match, and it has delivered.
So Meredith finds Bruce. Good change of direction from Passion. And Bruce again just trying to set up his main man at the post. And Queensland are back in front. So Victoria now need to respond, and Roberts does. What a terrific
pass, wasn't it?
Long feed into Walker.
His vision there was exceptional.
Yeah, beautiful execution. Atkins, 2 or 3 passes in this middle third. Ormisha. And the long bomb into Junior Levy. And Queensland have just worked their way back into this.
Just need to finish the quarter here, and we're going to be set up for an absolute crackerjack last quarter.
Well, for Queensland fans, I hate to say it, but I do think there's a scoring end, and it is meaning that Victoria might have the run home. It doesn't always work that way, but so far the left of screen is the scoring end.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. And the lead's only 1.
2 minutes on the clock, and Victoria with this shot to level the score. Roberts steps in, offloads to Walker, and Walker does the job for Victoria.
That's a smart play, isn't it? Take out the other defender. Easy pass. Walker doesn't miss.
Well, yeah, and in return, sloppy play from Queensland. You hear their coach saying, nail the pass. Well, it wasn't nailed on that occasion. And Victoria now, Roberts, keen, driving through court, steadies, beautiful delivery into Walker. Well, he was flying through court and had enough nous just to steady the pass in.
All the good work could get undone here in this last couple of minutes. Like they've just had 3 quick goals.
Yeah, so they now lead by 2, Victoria. Yeah, 43 to 41. Queensland, can they respond? Passion. Yeah, Passion and Atkins really trying to work that ball till the big man opens up. And
doesn't mind throwing himself into Junior.
No, Alistair pushing on the
exuberance
ground.
of youth.
All 219 centimetres of it. So 1 goal now. Quick hands, Keane been on the end of everything in terms of delivery to Walker. 40 seconds left on the clock in this 3rd quarter. Day 4 action of the AMNA Championships here on the Gold Coast, and Walker continues to do what he does best, and that is take ball under post and finish off. 20 seconds.
Oh no,
And a
that's
chance for
gonna be
Victoria.
that's a massive turnover.
Yeah, they lead by 2. Long ball from Keane into Walker.
They could get the 2 for 1 here.
Well, a good finish coming to the quarter for Victoria. They trailed by 2 at one stage, and now they're still out by 3. So there'll be the long ball immediately.
Oh,
And the obstruction call will go.
that's
so
expensive.
4 goals and almost caught Queensland sleeping in the last 5 seconds of play.
That's a,
So
yeah, they won that last 2 minutes 6-1. So that's not good.
for Queensland.
Not good for anyone to lose the last 2 minutes of a game 6-1, but particularly for Queensland in this
Absolutely.
particular occasion.
So 1 quarter left of play here, and it's Queensland trailing by 4. They've certainly fought back, and it sets us up for a terrific final quarter. Hang in there, we'll be back in just a minute.
And we're back to the Gold Coast Sports and Leisure Centre for the final quarter in this incredible match with Victoria currently leading 46-42. What are your thoughts, Sue?
Yeah, interesting game, isn't it? The way that it's topped and tailed throughout. It's certainly, you know, if you have a look at the scoreline, Queensland led by 6 in that first quarter, 19-13. Victoria fought back terrifically in the second when I thought their heads looked down, and they won the quarter 8-16 to get themselves in front by 2 at half-time. And then, you know, Queensland looked a bit flat coming out of half-time and all of a sudden found some energy and got themselves up in front. And then, as you mentioned, just at the back end of that quarter, 6 goals to 1 in the last 2 minutes the way of Victoria. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a terrific sign to have as a team that you can finish strongly, and it's a bad sign alternatively if you're on the receiving end of that.
That's exactly right. And I think the Victorians must be fairly confident taking Brodie Roberts off, bringing Dan Cook on. Dan Cook, a current Australian Sonics player as well, has just come back from the tour in New Zealand last October. Coming back from a knee injury. I thought he might not play this game, just simply because, you know, he's had a fair bit of workload today. So I thought he might probably sit this one out. But a ridiculously experienced player, so they've obviously brought him on to bring it home.
So Daniel Cook comes on for Victoria at goal attack. Brodie Roberts did a terrific job, as you just mentioned.
Yeah, I thought he's been brilliant.
So
no changes to Queensland in this quarter.
No changes, and we're all set to go in this final quarter. Day 4 action, the Men's Open Championships here, Mixed Championships. This is the game everyone's been talking about. Queensland taking on Victoria, the rematch of the 2016 Grand Final.
And 2015 and 2014 and 2013.
Well, I'll tell you what, New South Wales were impressive today. So
they're the sleeping giants. They've been brilliantly coached this year, and they're just doing everything. They're rotating their squad through, trying different combinations every game. And, yeah, definitely they're a team to watch. They'll probably peak at the right time. So
keep you up to speed with the scoreline, 47-43 to Victoria. And the Queensland bench not at all happy with that last call, just frustrated. You tend to get that way when you're chasing score.
And they're going to the scoring and the VICs, so be able to put your theory to the test.
Well, we'll see what happens as Daniel Cook offloads his first ball to Tim Walker.
Just getting a few tweets in. The ADF mixed team currently sitting in the Canagra pub cheering for the Queenslanders. Not sure where that is. It's a fair way away from here, I think. So
oh well, have a
they're
drink.
enjoying the coverage.
Have a drink for both of us.
So I think they'll have a drink or 12.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. So again, Keane and Andrew Simons, for me, just finding ease and space to the top of the circle, making the feed into their shooters so well. Robertson out of play. Passion straight into Junior Levy. Plenty of space. And you can again see the frustration.
Yeah, I think he's getting sick of the knees in his back. So, yeah.
Well, you've got to put up with it. If it doesn't get called by the umpire, that's how it is. So it's Queensland's job to fight back here. They trail by 5. That'll make it 6 as it just rolls in for Tim Walker.
That was a magic pass. It hung in the air for ages, but it still got to the right spot. And Tim's hold was so good, Stephen Kerr had no chance of getting around it for that ball.
So out by 6 Victoria, which is what they led by before in the third quarter, and Queensland fought back at one stage to be in front by 2. So the scoreline really not indicative of what a possible result could be here. And good first ball contest in from Glenn Ormisher. Victoria come up with it. Keane on the drive through midcourt, finds his partner in crime in Simons. And what a terrific pass. Saw the front option, chose the back one.
Yeah, but how good was Dan Cook? Cut in there. Everyone thought Cookie was going to get the ball. Boom, straight in Tim Walker.
Good drive to the top of circle for Passion. Good contest in the air from Will Jamieson. That's not to be. So we continue with the scoreline, 46-51, 5 goals. Victoria lead by. Oh, quick offload. Simons to Walker.
They're going to have to make some off-roads into this lead soon, Queensland. Otherwise, the game's going to get away from them. They're running out of time.
Now to do that, they're going to have to stop some terrific play coming from the VICs.
Yeah.
Queensland
Looks
came
like there's
out.
a warning being dished out there.
Yeah, Queensland came out all guns blazing, energy high in the first quarter, and then things just changed. In the second, Victoria chipping away at the scoreline, and they've really been in control of the play for the best part of this 3 quarters of netball. So, Daniel Cook. Yeah, good footwork from the Queensland defence. Meredith, front position. Him and Kerr given the tough job. Walker eventually forced out of the circle. So a small win here for Queensland.
They're going to keep him out there. Oh, no, he's worked his way back in.
Daniel Cook just read the decision by the umpire and got on with play ever so quickly. There you go. Oh, smart work, Simons. And
Even
eventually,
Kerr read it well.
great read by Kerr. He's come up with a couple of good balls today.
He's one of those players who can play either end of the court well. He's a very accomplished GA. Like a couple of championships at Queensland won, he was the GA on the side, and here he is playing keeper, doing a great job.
Well, Bruce doing the job in the goal attack today, combining with Levy at shooter. And 4 goals now, the difference, and it's Queensland's centre pass. So you just see the shoulders lift on the boys when they sense a moment.
Well, this is the moment.
Could break out into song if you want, Millsy.
I don't mind a musical.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I try.
So, Junior Levy to bring Queensland back to within 3 goals. And I reckon you're about to watch the Queensland defence get right up here. A little bit of energy.
Yeah, Ormiston's sticking to Andrew Simons a bit tighter now, and he hasn't as much free rein as he had in the last quarter.
So, great move, Daniel Cook out wide.
Yeah.
Knew exactly where Walker was and just took the pressure completely off the VICs.
Yeah. Kerr's probably just a little bit far off Tim Walker there. If he's a little closer, he'll get a hand on that.
53-49, 4 goals. Victoria's favour, and chance again, turnover. Guy keen to set the ball in play, and combines with Daniel O'Cook, and the quick hands into Walker. His vision into the post, into the circle, just terrific.
He's been a great player for a long time, and every year he just seems to get that little bit better. So.
Well, he's on the end of every second ball, Keane, and he's combined terrifically today with his partner in crime at wing attack, Andrew Simons, and that is just a shot of confidence, Daniel Cook.
Yeah. He was the player of the final in the Trans-Tasman in 2015 and player of the series as well.
Well, Levy didn't want to take that, and that was just good defensive play from Victoria, good hustle.
It was a very casual pass, wasn't it, from Junior?
Well, it was telegraphed pass, really, wasn't it? So Simons. Robertson backing up. Simons again, quick hands. Cook. They swing the ball. They swing to top. Well, what does it open up? Daniel Cook home alone while the 2 Queensland defenders look after this man, well, Tim Walker.
They both got sucked in there. They both went on to Cookie, and then there's easy pass straight into Tim. So. It's out to 7. Was not long to go. 7 with 7 to play. It's going to be a tough ask for the Queenslanders.
There's Cook again. He's had an impact since he's come on in this final quarter. Mr. Experienced.
Yeah, a very strategic move by the coach. She's just put him on to ice the game.
Well, they're sending a message, Victoria. They lead now 57-49, and I think my theory of a scoring end has been realised.
That's why we're paying you the big money.
That's right, the big bucks. Theories. Still plenty of time in this game, over 7 minutes. Anything can happen. These boys score very quickly. Got my expert commentator shaking his head. He's lost hope. Never lose hope in a game. I've seen unbelievable things happen in this sport. So Cook out on the drive, just trying to set up the play here for Walker. Eventually they do. He holds front position.
The control by Victoria in that offensive end is unbelievable. They're just not taking any silly passes at the moment. Yeah. Everything's exact. There's not even an opportunity for Queensland to turn it over. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, late contest there coming from James Robertson. So, again, Victoria controlling centre pass with the score, leading 58-51. Walker won't shoot that. He's been comfortable under the post all night. They find him on the baseline. And Passion called for the contact. So Keane goes high, not to be. Good tip comes from Kerr. Stephen Kerr giving Queensland just a last chance here. Every one of these opportunities, Millsy's got to be scored on.
They've got to take it. Like they cannot let us another ball come back at them without a goal. So
Passion, Levy on the drive.
Yeah, that's when, you know, Queensland are in a bit of trouble. When he's starting to drive out like that, then he's thinking he's got to go and get the ball rather than bring it to him.
Well, just the connection between Bruce and Levy, not the same as what we've seen up the Victorian end.
The first quarter was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but this as the game's worn on, it has sort of slipped away a little bit.
Yeah, and I reckon credit to Alistair Punchin. I think he's done a good job just in...
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's
confusing
put
the space.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's put the doubt in. So... And, whereas in the first quarter, the confidence there, just let it go. But now they're sort of second-guessing and going through the zone. They're just taking too long to get through it. So.
Well, a score here would bring them back to 5. And still 5 minutes of playing. Just as we say that, another offensive contact going to the Queensland shooter.
It's a shame we can't hear what that was. Must have been backing into the player maybe because I didn't
he's been using his elbows.
Fair
so
enough.
that's been the standard call. It's come from both ends of the court.
Yeah, for sure. I think the umpiring's been terrific tonight.
Yeah, very good.
Very
good.
consistent.
Haven't noticed them.
That's exactly
That's
right.
always a good umpire.
Exactly.
So Guy Keane, him and Simons, just unstoppable for Victoria, and anyone that comes up against them heading to the pointy end of this championship is going to have to work out a pretty solid game plan.
Yeah, many people have tried and failed.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's passes like that, execution like that comes from the front end of Victoria that you beg the question.
Where Queensland have had success against Tim Walker is when they actually haven't been caught behind. Fraser Lowry was caught behind in the first and Stephen Curry is, but the couple that Curry's got, he's been able to come off and have a crack at it. So Tim likes to feel a bloke with him so that he knows where the space is, and he makes a great angle. But the boys just need to come off him a little bit and they'll have a bit more success.
So 4 minutes left, 60-53, 7 goals now out the difference. And the moment that Queensland just had now has gone missing. Look at that space, a quick give and go, Simons. And even under pressure being off balance, he can still find perfect execution of the pass.
Yeah, the delivery into Tim has been probably better than the delivery into Junior tonight.
So we said earlier that these two sides met on day 2, and it was Queensland 65 defeating Victoria 56, a 9-goal win to the Queenslanders.
We're probably going to have a very similar score, but in reverse.
That's right. So it keeps things interesting as this championship unfolds all the way to our big grand final on Saturday. All the live streaming available to you over the coming days. Tell your friends about it and help grow this great game.
Yeah, it's available on amna.com.au. Just hit the live streaming link and you get 2 screens up there. So we're doing 12 games tomorrow. And tomorrow night's game, which you'll be doing again with Junior Levy, will be an absolute cracker. It's Western Australia, South Australia. Winner of that will make the semis. The loser will probably go home.
Yeah, good. Yep, so
that'll be a great game.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the good games. Happy about that.
Excellent, no worries.
They're all good games. So Queensland still just trying to push here. 61-55, 6 goals, 2.5 minutes on the clock. They go long. That's exactly what they need to do. And the footwork call going against the star in Junior Levy. And you'd almost say that is done and dusted for Queensland.
Yes, 2 to go, 6 down.
So Guy Keane controlling this, and Simons, look at that. Look at this. This is just an exhibition of class.
We called it a clinic to Queensland earlier on, but that's definitely turned around now, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, absolutely, and full credit to Victoria to be able to fight their way back and not get disillusioned after being 7 down at the first quarter. They looked average, I felt, in that first quarter.
Yeah.
And Queensland were up and about, but they have certainly changed the momentum, the tide, the whole lot, and playing with confidence.
Yeah, they'll take a lot out of this game. Like, they may meet in the prelim, they meet in a knockout, I'm not sure. But, yeah, they'll definitely, they'll meet each other again one more time before this tournament's over. And you'd have to think Victoria will be booming with confidence.
Absolutely. So Junior Levy looks over at the score bench, at the score, and he notes that Queensland are down by the 7, 63 to 56. This will make it 8 goals, and just over a minute left of play here. Final game action of day 4 from the Gold Coast Sports Centre. One of the venues for one of the sports at the Commonwealth Games next year. Terrific venue, actually.
Yeah, the floor, the boys are telling me, is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's very well sprung. They're feeling safe. It's not slippery. Even when it gets a bit of moisture on, it's not too bad. So it'll be one of his brand spanking new. So.
So we wind down the last 30 seconds of play, and Victoria will come off this court a very, very happy side. Certainly they won't be thrilled with their start to the game, so always things to work on. But they've certainly finished it exactly the way they would have liked. 64-57, the last 20 seconds. Passion into Levy. And a goal too late for Queensland.
They're going to get close to scoring 60 and lose, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
Usually the old days you scored 60 guaranteed to win, so the game's changing, isn't it? So.
Absolutely, and that will be the last goal of the game. As Guy Keane almost hobbles back to the middle. He has run many a kilometre in this game today, but too good. Victoria winning over Queensland in this open men's game, 64-59. And we'll call it was a scoring end. The left of screen,
I think you're 100% right.
The wind
So.
went the way of Victoria in that final quarter.
Absolutely. It was just their control in the last quarter. Like, they didn't do anything exceptionally brilliantly, but they didn't lose the ball. They maintained it. The experience of Dan Cook coming on, working with his old friends in Andrew Simons and Guy Keane, and then with Tim Walker in there. You know, the guy shoots 90% most games, and it just made it too easy for them in the end. Smart coaching move, took the young kid off just in case there was any nerves there. Brought on Dan Cook, and it was all over Red Rover before we knew. So
absolutely. So yeah, plenty of stars for the Victorian side, and as you mentioned, Daniel Cook only coming on in that last quarter and could very well line up as a starting 7 and see out the full game. So plenty of positives for them.
Oh yeah, like Christine's got so many options there. You know, I mean, like they are a great side. They've got great depth, and they've got some young fellas in there as well. So you know, so it's a good position to be in. Absolutely.
Well, we're going to be chatting with the player of the match in just a minute. But if you are interested in staying involved with this live streaming over the coming days, make sure you hook on, because it's only day 4, plenty of action still to come. But it was too good today. Victoria outclassing Queensland 64-59. Thanks for joining us post-match, and I catch up with our player of the match from this men's Queensland versus Victoria open game. Day 4 of the championships. Guy Keane, the centre for Victoria. Congratulations, mate. I have to ask off the cuff, the first quarter, what happened?
Yeah, we were a bit slow. The first game that we played them earlier in the rounds, we were actually really good with our start. We were just a bit flat, I reckon, this afternoon. But really proud of the boys, the way that we brought it back after that first quarter, and I think we were pretty dominant from there on.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me, what were the words of your coach at the quarter break, just to, I guess, refocus the side going into that second quarter?
Yeah, just go back to our game plan, go back to what we know we can do, and then just play our brand of netball and just, chip away at that lead. And I think we did that really well in that second quarter.
Just want to talk to you about your working relationship with your wing attack. Extraordinary stuff.
Yeah, I think we've played in the open team since 2007 together, so it's been almost 10 years playing netball together, so we read each other's space pretty well. Still think we've got some stuff to work on, but it's a good combination we've got going.
And defensively, when you come up against Queensland, the task of stopping the big man in Levy is pretty difficult stuff, but well done today. It was a full team effort to just, I guess, defensively push away at that pressure.
Yeah, and all credit to Christina, our coach. She went back and looked at all the tapes and came up with a bit of a strategy, and I think we executed that pretty well today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually bring her in. I'm going to say goodbye to you. I'll find out whether you did execute that well. Come on in, joining me, the coach of the Victorian men's sides. Christina, how are you? Long-time friend, but lovely to see you. I'll ask you, the first quarter, disappointing?
Yeah, they got a really slow start. We made quite a few unforced errors, but I tried to keep them as calm as possible and get them back on track, and they did a good job. They went back on and turned the ball around. Like, we weren't getting many turnovers. I think we only got 2 or 3 turnovers, so we really had to work hard to get those turnovers, because down the other end, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, and we sort of made that comment during commentary that we felt that the Victorian side just looked really poised the entire time. Even though you were 7 down, they weren't frazzled. I mean, is that sort of part of the plan with you guys?
Yeah, they're a great unit, and we've been working really hard, and yes, and that's part of the plan. And we've got set plays that we can go back to when we get into those situations. So we've really worked hard on those, and they know that they can rely on those set plays and work hard. So
Daniel Cook entered the game in the final quarter, so we realise he's had a fairly big load and whatnot. But certainly, I mean, to be able to replace someone, Brodie, with the class of Cook.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky to have the depth on the bench. Brodie's a very young player, and it's really great to be able to expose him at this level and to start the game. But we're very fortunate to have a player like Dan Cook, who can come on, and he was pretty calm out there, and he finished off the game. So we're pretty lucky to have that depth, especially in goals. Yeah.
And looking forward, we always say there's improvement. Can you talk me through over the coming days, where do you think that improvement needs to come to ensure you walk away at the end of this championship with what you want?
Well, we're still building, and I suppose we've got to start thinking about getting good starts. And I think, just put together 4 quarters, and that's something that's not been happening during this tournament. But we can build on that, and I'm sure the boys will be there at the end and give us 100%, which I want.
You only want to get it right once, don't you? So thank you so much for joining. Congratulations to you. And that wraps up our final game here on day 4 of the AMNA Championships. We'll be back tomorrow with all the live streaming action as we hit day 5 here on the Gold Coast.